take care of the paving around Jones Park.
Yes.
And we're getting some people coming into town that are doing the Frisbee golf. And so we're considering in the future trying to make that area look a little better if we're getting out of town visitors. And so that might be a consideration for you, as our long-term plan is to try to do something like that.
Yes, sir, thank you, I appreciate that. The other thing is, I was told on September 7th, there is gonna be a car show at Jones Park, and is
Typically, that's what, around that time.
around that time, I was told September 7th, that just happened to be my birthday, so that would be nice to have, he would like to have a softball tournament at that field. So, you know, we don't have to have lights, but if we had more than 6 teams, we would probably go into the night. It would be beneficial to have 8, 10, 12, just like we had this weekend, but we may not be able to do it unless we have lights. I don't know how fast we can get.
Yeah, you just have to mark both your cars way away, because they hit some long balls.
Yeah, make sure that it's way out there. There's some foul balls too.
As you
yes,
know,
yes, sir.
As you know, we have a park board.
Yes.
And so they're the start. They're a
Yes.
starting point, and they come to us on if they need extra funds.
Yes.
For funding of this. Now, I will give you, kind of getting ahead of myself here, but we've been approved on the state level. We're waiting for word back from the federal level on new ballpark lights at Indian Park.
Over.
The lights that's out there possibly could be reused with new poles,
With new poles, yes.
not with the
Yeah, a
same
little bit
poles,
higher, a little bit higher.
but possibly. And so we won't have word of that till later this year.
And that's fine,
You
sir.
know, and I can't see if we can utilize those lights, which are usable for Jones, it'd be good to do. Save a lot of money, frankly.
Sounds good.
They won't help you right away.
And that's okay, we know it's gonna be a long term. We're not expecting anything like, you know, just some of the things that scraping the field, I'm sure that we can get somebody to do that. We just don't wanna do anything without anybody knowing. With the city council not knowing, with the park recreation board not knowing, and we just wanna make sure everybody's knows and is involved.
Well, if you would start with, and I'll probably see you at the park board
Yes,
meeting,
sir.
but start there. And if they need some extra allocation, then I can bring it to the council on any kind of money allocation.
Yes, sir.
And we'll see what we do.
Okay.
Does Jones Park not have field lights?
No, they do not, sir.
Oh, no, ice storm.
Yeah, the ice storm is what I was told.
But I would love to see Jones Park utilized. It's a beautiful project, you know, it needs to be utilized. So if we can make it work out there, I would love to see it happen.
Thank you.
All right. Now, would you please come up and state your name?
Well, most of y'all actually know me, I ran for council. I'm Brittany Jenkins, and I live on the corner of Ninth and Walnut. I have a speech that I want y'all to listen to, because I feel it needs to be addressed. So I'm gonna read this speech, and if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask me. What I don't know, I can find out.
Okay.
I've been a citizen of Kennett for 31 years, my entire life. I'd like to address you regarding the termination of an officer by the name of Sergeant Bernie Rogers on May 7, 2024. Sergeant Rogers has been a true asset to our community for 17 years of service with the Kennett Police Department and a total of 25 years in law enforcement. Sergeant Rogers, along with the entire Kennett Police Department, risk their lives protecting our community every day. And I thank all of you for your service for that.
Thank you.
Serving as a dedicated officer of the law for 17 years with KPD, on February 23rd, 2023, he was injured in the line of duty. Due to his injuries, he has been unable to return to work. For those of you who do not know, he was in a pursuit with a suspect and hit in the side at an excessive amount of speed, and sustained a fractured back along with other many injuries. Sergeant Rogers has a reputation of going above and beyond for all citizens, and literally would take the shirt off of his back for anyone in need. One would expect Sergeant Rogers would be granted the same respect, and it is disheartening that that is not the case. I am in utter dismay that Sergeant Rogers was terminated, but even more upsetting is how it was handled. One of our own was injured on the job. We should be rallying behind him and not so easily discarding his dedication and service to our town. Out of respect for this dedicated service, you would presume there would have been options presented and discussed with him in person, such as the possibility of full retirement benefits before termination, but that did not happen. He was terminated without a single notice. Sergeant Rogers found out via a letter in the mail. Let that sit in. He was injured in the line of duty. He is still under medical supervision and continues to heal, but now has no insurance to assist with his care. Can you imagine providing outstanding service and protecting your community for 17 years, being injured doing so, having no one to stand behind you, and now facing an unimaginable battle to obtain insurance because yours has been taken away? How could one of our own be so easily discarded? Sergeant Rogers, willing to give the shirt off of his back for anyone in need, right now needs his fellow officers and the community to have his back. He needs more than well wishes for a speedy recovery. He needs all of us. He needs his earned and well-deserved benefits to continue to recover from his in the line of duty injury. Let's not forget, he policed with compassion, dedication, a big heart, and made a difference. Doesn't he deserve the same?
Thank you, Ms. Jenkins.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else?
Council, Mr. Mayor. It's quickly following along. My name is Riley Cook, live in Shelton Place here in Kennett, and I'm here to propose a few changes to some of the property maintenance ordinances that we have. Short and sweet is take the word owner out of a few of these ordinances and replace it with the word occupant. You'll see on the second page where I have those changes. Not wanting to take responsibility 100% off of any landlord, I would like to add the second bullet that if the structure is unoccupied, the responsibility falls back to the landlord or the owner of the property. All this is doing is if a tenant is living in a place, it's making them responsible for their trash, and it's making them responsible for mowing their own yard.
Makes sense.
That's all I have. I would like the council to take this under advisement, look at it. If there's any questions, want to speak offline about this, I'd be glad to. I'm sure I can get more landlords involved and come to a meeting. You know, this is something that it seems like we are butting heads with, and we absolutely don't want that. Any
Good.
questions? Thank you.
Good. Anyone else? All right. Well, we need to, get me out of here. We gotta go close session. Go to closed session. So we need a roll call motion. We have a motion. We have a second. Roll call vote.
Yes.
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 All right, we're gonna take a 5-minute break and then we'll reconvene.
Oh, blow it again. Let's go. Turn